Hi, it's Andy again, and today's tutorial is going to be on Android Studio. There have been a few updates since Google I/O, so I would say that the general experience is pretty good. Um, this is a simple app. I'm not even going to post the source code. All it is a list example. So here's a list fragment that just has all the different versions of Android with the onCreate view. We're going to inflate this XML file with Android list, and the main activity is just going to replace a frame layout that I have in the activity main with that list view. So here's some of the features that I wanted to go over. Like I said in this, this is the activity main, and as you can see, there's nothing here. That's because it's a frame layout and there's nothing in it. So this little preview feature here that I absolutely love, and it's so quick. It does changes on the fly too, so you don't have to sit there and save your program every single time you make a change and then switch over here to design in order to view it. Once you make a change here, it updates immediately here, which is fantastic. So when we look at the list, so here's a typical list view. See, it changes so quickly. So if I change this to, let's say I wanted a bigger border, we'll change this to 2. I don't have to save it, it just automatically does it. Or let's see, I want to say 3, boom, makes it even bigger. I love that, how quickly this works, and it updates on the fly. One thing you will have to do is, since it's using the SDK that's downloaded with Android Studio, you're going to want to set that up. So see here you have the SDK manager, very similar to Eclipse, where you have it loads up the SDK manager. You're going to want to download your images for your emulators that you're going to be running. It'll automatically detect the emulators you currently have. I only have a Nexus 4.2 right now as an active emulator, so when I go here you'll see that only the 4.2 is actually active. I haven't downloaded the Gingerbread or Gingy Small, which is what I use as well on my other emulator or other SDK for Eclipse. So this one links directly to my Android Studio SDK. So you're going to want to update this, install everything that you want to install again. If you're on Windows, reinstall or you won't have to reinstall Haxum if you have Windows, since that's a program that's actually running on the computer. If you've correctly installed that once, you won't have to reinstall it. So this will show because you haven't downloaded it, since it's a new SDK. Saves it to that SDK's folder, but this isn't necessary for already installed the program on your Windows machine. Now it's still good to download it, because when it updates you can always see that it updates and then reinstall it that way, but for Windows users this is not necessary if you've already installed it before. Like I use Linux here, so I don't really need it. The Intel images are fantastic on Linux. They run natively without any issue. They run very fast. And Windows, you will need to run Haxum to get them just as fast. Okay, so I love this little preview feature, but let's go dig deeper into it. Let's go back into this list so we can mess around with it some more. So let's say I wanted to see what it looked like on all the tablets. So preview all screen sizes. And look, let's see, we got our Nexus 4 here. It's going to load up a Nexus 10, a Nexus 1, Nexus S, Galaxy Nexus, and a Nexus 7. So you can see what it looks like on all of them at once. If I were to create a layout large, extra large or something like that, create a layout extra large variation, this wouldn't change with every change that I did here, because it's not in the same. So it does a good job of separating it. So let's say I create an extra large variant, right? So now I have the same file over here in the extra large, but let's say I change it to 1 let's go back to 1. See how on the large one now it's going to be 1 since I changed it in the extra large, but this one's still going to be 3 because I didn't change that over here. So it's nice that it knows exactly what I've changed, and like it updates it on the fly. Let's say I accidentally completely delete this list view. Guess what? The tablets still have the list view there because it's a tablet. It's using this XL extra large folder, and it knows that, and it displays that nicely. So that's pretty cool. I really like the features of editing on the fly. This is fantastic. This is something that Eclipse is just not really fast at. So your projects are going to look quite a bit different. It's got all this extra stuff, including Gradle and IDEA, because it's based off of the IDEA, Java, what is it? Development. I can't even think about it, but it's the IDE, the Java IDE made by InteliJ. So that's why you have a different layout here, but this one's very specific to Android, which is nice. But you still get a lot of the cool features that you had before on Eclipse. You get all these plugins, like if I want to run it, you get it'll compile the whole thing and then ask you what emulator or device you want to run it on. That's very, very similar. So right now I have the emulator loaded up, I have my phone loaded up, but if you wanted to launch a different one like Gingerbread, which this isn't going to work because I don't have the images installed yet, but if I wanted to run it on a different emulator, it'll pull it up. But here, since I have the emulator already running, this is what it'll look like. And since I made that change, you can see that the change. The only thing I don't like is this kind of, it's a little slow. This part about it is, oh, I forgot to check that. This part's a little slow on my desktop, or on my laptop that I use, but you know, after about 3 or 4 seconds, it becomes a lot more responsive. Other than that, it's you know, fantastic. I really do like the updates that you know, Google's putting out to this pretty quickly. They promised a weekly release schedule, and they're probably a little bit behind on it, but that's okay because every update that they've been working on and pushing out has been fantastic. I think the current version as of this recording is 1.0.5. See. Oh, 1.6. Okay. Oh, no. That's the JDK. Sorry. This is... it doesn't say here. But I believe the current release is 1.0.5. So do expect more updates soon, as this is very, very, very nice development thing. I'm started working on a whole project just on this, so I forced myself to learn it. And you know, there's a little quirks, but let's say I'm editing stuff on the fly. Let's create a new fragment. Let's do that. We'll just call this frag. Extends frag. So fragment. See, like this is all pulled up on the fly, which is really nice and pretty quick. So public view on create view. Sorry, I hit the function button. So as you see, I don't have view, but see, it automatically says, hey, you don't have this. Do you want to import this? And the keys are a little bit different than Eclipse, but it takes some getting used to. Like for this, it unfortunately, like, you can't just hover over it and import it like you can in Eclipse. But Alt Enter pulls up a menu where you can import the class, and then this is all done. So that's kind of how it is when you're developing. It's all very quickly on the fly, makes recommendations. There's a lot of other cool things, like with strings that, let's say you're referencing a string, it'll actually look like it's hard coded, which is kind of cool looking, so you know what string you've added in there. Let's say, like, I had it in, let's say, we'll go to the, we'll do that. Let's try that. Override. I cannot type today. Sorry about that. So much like Eclipse, it'll autofill in, but I think it's a lot faster. So let's say we wanted to get resources dot get string, or let's do get string r dot id dot or r dot string dot app name. So let's close it off. It's not doing it, but they showed it in Google I/O where you can have it where this will we'll change it and put out the string name in here as if it was hard coded, which it's not. So that was pretty cool. Another feature is if I pull up the color here, you can see the color here on the left. It's black because that's the color I chose for the divider. So any kind of colors that you put in there, any drawables that you link to, I'll show you the drawable. Let's do that. Get resources dot get drawable r dot drawable dot. So when you put that, you can see here on the left, that's a little tiny image of that image in the drawable folder. So as you can see, when we launch this, see, it's a little Android guy, and that's what this little green guy down here is. It's that little Android guide in a much smaller thing. So that you make sure you, without having to open up that resource and double check, you can visually see that you have the right resource. So I really like that feature too. I'm forcing myself to learn this, and since this is going to be the future that Google is pushing for development, since they're working really closely with InteliJ, and who knows, they might change it in the future to someone else. But I do like this. This is very, very nice. They've incorporated some features since release that they didn't have. So let's say you're starting a new project. This, I believe, was there, but let's say this was there. However, this was not. Let's say, like, you wanted to create an activity. Eclipse has this, and the developer tools that were bundled with Eclipse, the ADT, had this as part of it. But since it's updated a few times, they've added this, and they've also added this too as well with the navigation type, where you can automatically put into your activity scrollable tabs and fixed tabs and stuff like that. I believe there's still a few more of them in Eclipse for the type of activity, but they're updating this quite frequently, and that's a good thing. So I hope. Oh yeah, here, this is the one that I thought wasn't included, but it is. So little things to help you out when you're developing an app. The design process, it lays out the framework for you. Another thing is, if you're a cloud, using the cloud to push notifications, there's nice little, you can put in, let's see, where is it? there's yeah, Google Cloud endpoints. You can put this in there and it'll automatically generate the endpoints for you, for the backend, which is very nice. I don't really know how to use this yet. I would like to, so I may in the near future do a tutorial on this once I figure out how to get it, like how to actually use it. But the Google I/O presentation on it was fantastic. If you've used the Ultimate Stopwatch or Ultimate thing by Geek You Up, they tore that apart and put it in here where they added Stopwatch, where that synced over the cloud to another device, and which would be very useful in, like, let's say a 5K run. Somebody's at the start, hits the start button, it automatically starts on the other device, and when that person is at the finish line, they hit the stop button, it automatically stops and it synchronizes between the two of them. However, a neat feature for that is that it also incorporated the lag that was associated with going to the cloud. So it was about a second lag, like when you hit the start button on one device, the start on the second device, it took about a second. But it took into account the exact lag, and it stopped it. That was fantastic. I love that. That would be a really cool feature for somebody who actually ran a 5K, which I don't anymore. Okay, so here's a video on the Android Studio. I hope you like it, and let me know what you think. If you want me to go over some other features,